Hi everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video to show what we discussed at the May 26th meeting. There's been some talk online with this and a lot of people missed the meeting, so I thought it'd be really helpful just to upload a video to YouTube. I'm going to try to do this in one take, so there's probably going to be some errors, but we'll work our way through it. First question, why did we need to have an emergency meeting? We had an issue, and the issue is that the supplier for the gate cards went out of business. So the company that makes the gate controller and all the key cards, they're no longer. We've known about that they're going out of business for a while. We had some options, and so we brought those up at the May meeting. Everybody at the board kind of balked at the cost and then decided to table it until we could get more bids. Unfortunately, what that did is it pushed us way back into June, and we knew that we were opening up at the end of May for Memorial Day. So pickle, right? We were stuck. So we went third route and decided to try to look online to find some more key cards. We thought we had identified a source. Unfortunately, yeah, they're sold out, and basically we found out we can't get any more anywhere. And so that was where we were stuck. That was sometime a week before the meeting, maybe a few days before the meeting when we ended up at that point. So we decided we're going to call an emergency meeting. At that point in time, another bid had come in, and I had some time to do some research on some other options as far as controlling the gate and be able to get in and out of the pool gate, in and out of the tennis court gate. So that's why we decided to call an emergency meeting because there were residents that can't get in. So at this point in time, just a little update. We still don't have residents to be able to get in, and so we have a gate guard there. When the pool's open, they check the names and check the addresses of the people that want to come in, and then if they're paid with their dues and there are actually people on the list, then they can come in. But we're paying a gate guard there $17 an hour to sit and let people in and out. Normally we do have a gate guard when it's really busy, but now we feel like we need to have one there anytime the pool is open so that those people without cards, and there's actually quite a few of them, can use the card and can use the pool. So there you go. That's why we needed it. I think ultimately it became down to like, why are we talking about swimsuits? And so I needed to buy swimsuits to the lifeguards. They had gotten approved the week before. Basically, they went through their lifeguard training. So I didn't actually know who was going to be our lifeguard until they finished their lifeguard training. It turns out some different kids finished than I originally signed up. Some kids that signed up didn't complete the class. And so it's a gamble, right? I could have bought suits beforehand and I would have had the wrong suits. And so here we are. Next year, I think we're going to try to do that a different way, but we decided to go ahead and tack on the swimsuits, which caused a lot of controversy because no one thinks they're an emergency. I don't really think so either, but we just tacked them on because the emergency was actually electronic locks. And now we're paying $17 an hour for someone to sit there the whole time so that people can actually use the facilities that they pay for. So there you go. I'm going to walk through the information that I found. It took me quite a while to research all this. I knew nothing about electronic locks, but I put in the effort and I tried to make sure I understood the best I can. So I'm going to pass that information on to you, and hopefully you can see why we made the decision that we made. All right, so our first lock here is going to be this Camden standalone. So this lock right here is it just affixes to there. It's basically a replacement kind of for what we've got right now, but maybe a little bit cheaper of a version. It has a keypad, and it comes with these fobs that you can buy on Amazon. So you can get 500 fobs for $850. Our other ones were about $7 a piece, so this is a huge savings over our old fobs, our old key cards, I guess we call them a fob. And the good part about this is we could buy a whole bunch of them, 500 of them. Anna, the admin, can go out there, put in the codes for the sequence codes, the beginning and the end, and then the machine will pick those up. If she wants to put in any keypad information, she has to put those individually. So if you missed the meeting, there was a lot of discussion about keypad and whether we wanted a keypad or not. And I think people are like, I'm not really sure we want people to have a key code because it's just so easy to pass that information on, and then we can have random people coming in to the pool and possibly causing a liability. So we decided sort of no on the whole keypad idea, and so that sort of gets rid of this little keypad, obviously, even though it comes with both. So this was our cheapest option. Again, we're not sure if anyone knows how to install it. Like, I feel like I'm fairly tech savvy. Adam is fairly tech savvy. And then maybe Josh, I don't know, but there's a lot of people on the board that aren't. And, we'd have to hire somebody possibly to come out and do this. And then here, I don't know if they would install cheap equipment like this. So we'll get into the hire kind of thing later. All right. So next on the list, we just I threw out some, pluses and minuses of this. This is level 1. This is our very basic. All right, so next on our list is if we add in this Remutio, I think you say it, this is a separate thing. So we use that same sort of touchpad as the gate access. So we have to have something at the gate in order to use a fob, if that's what we want to use. So there has to be something physical there. That attaches to what's inside this box, which is like a little computer. That little computer can also pick up a cell phone, but it does it through the internet. So you could unlock the gate from your house. You could unlock the gate from Idaho if you happen to be visiting Idaho. And so we were really concerned that this would give people an opportunity to have friends that are showing up at the gate, and they just call them on the phone like, hey, we're here. Can we use the pool? And they'll be like, yeah. And they just let them in on the gate. It's super helpful because you can use your phone, but at the same time, the security is pretty low. Again, level 2, and that's where I was like, all right, well, this is a little bit better than just the keypad and the fob. Fobs are from Amazon, again, 500 for 850, that kind of thing. But there's some issues here, and the fact that this is online posed a big problem, a lot of discussion about that. And so here are the kind of the information about those. You could be activated by your phone, but it's via internet, and we'll talk about what that means here in a second. But it's not the same sort of Bluetooth connection that you would get if you were, say, purchasing something at Bonds, right? You open up your wallet on your phone, you double click on the side, and then boom, you've bought something. And it feels fairly secure because it is. It's well encrypted. This is not that. So this is just accessing a website through an app, and then you can unlock or lock the gate via that. I suppose just unlock. You unlock that gate via the app. Very different than the Bluetooth technology that they use at the grocery store. All right. So here's our next. That brings us to our. So this is like the Bluetooth technology. You guys are looking here. This is a box right here. Four different. So we'd be able to control both the tennis court gate and the pool gate. Check out on 2 things. Maybe possibly in the hall later. The hall might be really nice later. Check. Now this thing doesn't open the gate. It can check. Box. It's connected to. And then this is kind of that whole different level of sophistication. So it the last couple that I think maybe we could install personally, but if it didn't go connected to then that original, we really don't have anybody to call. So here's our next level. We're just stuck. This is like the Bluetooth technology that they use, and I feel like that store. So this is a box right here that controls 4 gates. And maybe a problem so we'd be able to control both the tennis court gate and the gate with that. We get out on 2 things. Maybe we're getting more sophisticated. Might be really nice later. Fairly common. Who knows, right? So there might be this one. Check 4 things. That's all chance. Maybe and then check. Kind of that professional level box. Maybe check. Could be probably really more like it. So check. You can connect to some kind of thing connected to that original check. Could be a phone. So here's our next level. So this is like the Bluetooth technology that they use. Check. This is a box right here. Internet. So we'd be able to control both the tennis court gate and the pool gate with that. We get out on 2 balls. Whatever it is, you would add you get close, so there's my check. Like control 4 when it went to the internet. This is kind of that professional level like that. And so this is different because works like things that have your phone. You can be signed up to be able to be connected to that original. We could tap on. Here's our next check. So this is like the Bluetooth technology. A lot of check. So this is a box right here, and so that next level. So we'd be able to control both the tennis court gate and the pool gate with that. Goes on 2 things. Maybe logs all those entries. The hall might be really nice later. Who knows? Check. At all times. It controls 4 things. That's very helpful. And so Anna can control that.
Check.
And then she can also control cards that are available and not available. So that you use, and she just slides a button. So it's done. It could be connected to that original card like she does now. So here's our next level. Other device. So this is like the Bluetooth technology that they use, and she would have to change those things. This is a box right here on the site, and kind of one by one. So we'd be able to control both. Didn't pay their dues this time, and check. And we get out on two things, and then when they do pay their dues, check. All might be really nice later. Check. She would just look, and there would be control for 1, 2 landing. Didn't pay their due. This she would slice the button level now. So check. Connected to things. That's kind of level that we're looking for. And check next to that original check. So here's our next level. So this is like this could do that, and it's we run wires box right here to control switch. So check. Control both the tennis court and complicated with that. Make it out on things. Check. You need power supplies. All might be really nice later. More, who knows, right? Find it might be off. Check. Controls for $500. Check. This is kind of than that by the time we got done. Check. It could be connected to things. Check. All right, so this brings us to our final two options. So our first option here is Teltech. This is a professional company installed by professionals. So, I would not be a part of the installation. Adam would not be part of the installation. These are guys that actually know what they're doing. And so we had quite a bit of discussion at the board meeting about this. And so Teltech came up. A lot of people have, there's some people in the audience that worked with Teltech. Adam's worked with Teltech. We have previously worked with Teltech. They're the ones that have fixed our system up now, kind of kept it running for us. So we have some experience with Teltech. They seem like a great company. Everybody says they're a great company, and they're locally owned, so we like that. This is the system that they spec'd out. The cost is totally different than what we've seen before. There's a couple things that I need to point out. So number one, we have kind of these wall mounts at $746. That first thing on there, that is the that's that mount, that's that box that we just saw before. That connects to the computer. And so this one's going to work a little different. I think it's going to go through the cloud is my understanding, not the way that Remudio thing went through an internet app. This runs through the cloud, and so it's kind of more like your Amazon cart or something like that. And so when you sign in, it goes to the computer, but it also is stored at their database. They manage the database for us. That's why it's important that this thing is a kind of a cloud model versus just running off the computer like the one before. Here's this Wigan interface module. I think this is the one that you can use I think you can use your phone, or you can use your some kind of a fob with this one. And then there may be an extra little bit of cost for phone on this one. And then we got things like the cards. Basically 100 cards for $560. So $5.60 a card, a little bit cheaper than we're paying right now for our cards. I think they were $7 a card. So we're in that same ballpark. So if family wants a card, you would pay, I don't know what we'll charge for them, $6, whatever, just rounding up. So you would pay the money for the card, and then we would issue a card just like we did before. But without a card, you could just use your phone. So if you don't want to pay for the card, you can use your phone. It has a battery pack because it needs to be able to stay on all the time. And then power supply. So this is another deal. So all the things, there's a lot of one-time costs that are associated with this, but it could control a lot more. So if we did want to kind of expand, and instead of just going to the gate, to the pool gate and to the other, the tennis court gate, we could probably do a lot more and not really have to buy anything else other than maybe some more of these interface modules might be all we need to buy. Might need more of these wall mounts, but I'm not really sure. All right, so router and all this stuff, this is just getting us connected. Now, the big thing that people were really concerned about was this entry access fee right here of $37.50. So this is where we get into sort of a different level, right? This isn't managed by us, it's managed by Teltech. And so instead of Anna sitting out there putting in the key cards and how long that takes her, what if she spends an hour a month? Well, there's most of that 3750 is eaten up. Teltec takes care of that for us now. So, depending on, and maybe it could be much more current, for 3750, they're managing that. We don't have to manage it. So it's kind of cool. Now we'll look at one more option. Remember, this one was $6,292 with a $37 a month fee. All right, so this one is much smaller. Sorry, these are just scans of their original post or their original bid that I just kind of put into this slideshow. Slideshow is available. I'll make it available in the comments. I think that'd be the easiest way to do it. We've sent it out on quite a few different ways. Sonatrol, a little bit cheaper. I don't think it's not apples and apples exactly. So they have the same control panel, they have keypads, but theirs is more of like a keypad and just the fob, and so that's a little bit different. And so we've got, I'm not sure how many fobs they have or key cards they've included in this one. That doesn't really come out clear. There was some more information later, but their overall cost is $5,270 for the installation and all those parts. And so their monthly fee, though, was $87. So their monthly fee was quite a bit more, $50 a month. So we started doing some math, and I was like, oh, well, we could, just the difference in the monthly fee, we could kind of make up that cost. It won't take long before that, 5,200 goes up to the 6,800 or whatever it is. And so we ultimately decided that, A, we like Teltec. B, they've been a great company for us. They've been a great company for other people that have worked with them in the past. B, they ultimately will be cheaper in the long run. And so we decided to go with Teltec over Sonatrol. We chose not to go with some of those other cheaper options because we would have to install them ourselves, and there's no guarantee that they would even work in the first place. And so we'd have to hire somebody, and then once you start hiring somebody to do these installations, Teltec, right? Are they going to even install that thing for us, or they'll be like, get your garbage out of here? So that was where we ended up at the meeting. And so everybody decided that Teltec was the way to go. So hopefully this clears some things up. And if you have questions, just leave them in the comment section. That would be great. Thanks. Bye.